Hello everyone. So today with Review With You, we're going to be talking about a really good character that they fleshed out in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but was little known in the comic universe. We're of course talking about Mobius, or if you like, Agent Mobius. Mobius is an agent working for the Time Variance Authority to basically maintain order on the sacred timeline, including detaining variants and preventing alternative timelines. He's portrayed by Owen, who did a wonderful job making this character come to life. Now, Mobius's biography is a little complicated, but we'll try to break it down for you. Mobius was once a normal human being living on the sacred timeline just like everyone else, until he was kidnapped by the Time Variance Authority, or basically did something that created a Nexus event and made him a variant in their eyes. His memories were completely wiped, and he was led to believe that he was created by the Timekeepers to be an agent of the Time Variance Authority. He actually believed that he was created by them so that he could do what he does, not knowing that there was a past history for him, maybe a family somewhere for him, or a job or a place that he came from. But he was led to believe that he was created specifically by the Timekeepers to be an agent of the Time Variance Authority, and he was tasked with maintaining order on the sacred timeline. Normally his tasks include preventing Nexus events and subsequent alternative timelines to be created, and detaining variants of people who left or interfered with the sacred timeline. Later, a variant in the form of Loki Laufeyson, a woman named Sylvie Laufey-Daughter, began creating chaos, killing TVA hunters, and stealing the reset charges that TVA Minutemen used to destroy alternative timelines. Mobius investigates the scene of the crimes and eventually finds that the variant has been tampering with the timelines by bringing future objects to the past, such as a simple pack of gum to 1549 in France. However, another variant of Loki who broke off from the sacred timeline in 2012 is detained and about to be sentenced. Mobius sees an opportunity to analyze and work with the version of Loki to help capture the elusive variant. He takes custody of Loki and interrogates him, showing him points of his past and explaining to him that in the sacred timeline, he just means to allow the heroes to come into their own, that he is only there to rise them up. He then shows Loki a point on his screen future where he indirectly leads to his adoptive mother Frigga and her death, in an attempt for revenge against his adopted brother Thor. This pretty much enrages Loki, who then tries to attack Mobius, but Mobius uses a device to rewind time to prevent Loki's attack. Mobius is called away to investigate another attack from Sylvie and returns to find Loki escaped. He teams up with Hunter B-15 to find him, but eventually finds him back in the interrogation room, dejected after seeing his future and eventual death, as well as seeing the seemingly all-powerful Infinity Stones regarded as nothing but paperweights to the TVA, questioning whether or not the TVA is the most powerful entity in the universe. Mobius appeals to Loki's inner sense of righteousness as well as his vanity, offering him purpose in catching the other Lokis, to which Loki accepts begrudgingly. Despite his initial agreement to cooperate, Mobius has difficulty with Loki when they go on their first investigation of another massacre and kidnapping, this time in 1985 Wisconsin. Loki attempts to bluff and stall for time, bargaining a meeting with the Timekeepers, but Mobius calls his bluff and takes him back to the TVA headquarters, while the alternate timeline is then erased. In order to encourage Loki to cooperate, Mobius tasks him with researching the cases to see what he can find. Going through all the paperwork, after a botched attempt to find files on the TVA, Loki is given his own file and looks over it. It's the only file he could pretty much get. After reading about Ragnarok, the destruction of Asgard, Loki realizes one particular thing. He goes to Mobius and explains this theory, all while demonstrating on subsequently ruining lunch, that the variant Loki is hiding in the apocalypse-style events that happen, as any and all activity there would be nullified and unnoticed by the later destruction. The destruction erases in the timeline at the TVA. They test the theory traveling to Pompeii 79 AD, where Loki creates chaos, but the timeline is unaffected due to the volcano's eruption and the destruction of all evidence that they were even there. Loki and Mobius research potential apocalyptic events that the variant could be hiding in. Mobius then explains that he has always had a fascination with jet skis and always wanted to ride one, but can't without disturbing the sacred timeline. The two have a civil debate about the existence of free will on a predetermined timeline and how it will end. The conversation reminds Mobius of the pack of gum and then realizes that the apocalypse event must contain the brand of gum for the variant Loki to acquire it. The two research it again, and Loki figures out that the event is a hurricane in 2050 Alabama, where people attempted to hide out in a superstore that carried the brand of gum. Mobius, Loki, and the Minutemen go to Alabama in 2050 to investigate. While Mobius finds the kidnapped hunter, Loki encounters Sylvie, who intends to set recharges across the sacred timeline to create a vast amount of alternative timelines. As she leaves, Mobius sees Loki follow her before the time door closes. Mobius looks for Loki and Sylvie throughout the sacred timeline, although he is informed by Ravana Renslayer that the kidnapped hunter had died due to her mind being broken by Sylvie. He eventually finds out that Loki and Sylvie, where the two together created a unique Nexus event. Mobius interrogates Loki, asking him what happened to create such a large unique Nexus event. He discovers that Loki has fallen in love with Sylvie and mocks him for falling in love with another version of himself. Loki informs Mobius of something that he learned from Sylvie, that he and all the agents of the TVA are simply variants who had their memories wiped. Though Mobius is skeptical at first, he investigates and after stealing Renslayer's temp pad, discovers that the hunter that Sylvie kidnapped was actually pruned after she remembered her old life. Realizing that Loki was telling the truth, Mobius goes to free him from the TVA, but is caught by Renslayer. She has her agents prune Mobius. However, Mobius is only sent where all things that are pruned are sent, a void at the end of time where everything sent there is consumed by a cosmic entity known as Eliath. Once there, Mobius commandeers a car and rescues Sylvie from Eliath, and soon meets back up with Loki, as well as other various variants of Loki from other timelines. Loki and Sylvie elect to defeat Eliath and find out who is behind the TVA and the kidnapping of variants. Mobius bids farewell to the Lokis, even getting a hug from variant L1130, and uses the temp pad that Sylvie brought to return to the TVA headquarters. Mobius returns to the TVA and then confronts Renslayer. After she apologizes to him, she packs up and takes off, claiming that she is in search of free will, and in the show we never find out where she goes. Now Mobius returns and finds the branching timeline completely beyond repair and just accepts the TVA's fate to failure. Later on, after Sylvie murders the one behind everything, he who remains, the timeline is so branched it branches irreparably. Loki is forced back to the TVA only to find that he is in an alternative timeline where Mobius does not even know him, and he who remains, other variant, Kang the Conqueror, has been taking over reality. Mobius seems to be a very loyal and practical agent for the TVA, doing his job without any kind of argument or hesitation, and truly caring for the state of the timekeepers and sacred timeline. Despite never have met the former, he is not afraid to work off instinct and gut reactions, usually calmly and responsibly working with any and all situation presented to him. He takes advantage of opportunities when he can, looking for the most practical and ethical means of handling every situation. All in all, he is just a regular human being that was stolen from a timeline by the TVA to do their bidding. Anyway, you folks have a wonderful day. Please like, share, and subscribe. We really do appreciate that around here. Also, go to our playlist, watch a few videos. They're really wonderful. Our playlist is getting larger every day. You guys have a wonderful day. Excelsior. See ya.